When doing a VOA60, the first thing you want to do is really create a VOA60 folder on your desktop where you can gather all your materials. So I've gone ahead and created a folder on my desktop called VOA60 tutorial. I'm going to try and get both the video and the audio for VOA60. I'll have to go to Finder and type in the path SMB semicolon / netapps _ team60. This is where all daily updated files reside. And so once you type this server address, you can use the plus button to add it to your favorites so it's stored permanently under your favorite servers and you don't have to type it again. You then connect. Give it a few seconds to connect to the Team60 server. When given the option, press OK, and this launches the depository. You have, as you can see, you have Africa folder, an America MP4 folder, and a world folder that is updated daily. We're interested in the Africa folder for this one, for this exercise, and so we go to the most recent date. You can see that the script is already available, but there are also other versions which are available. The one that interests us the most is the MP4 version, NBNT. We will drag and drop that file into our already prepared folder. Now that we have our video there, we will focus on getting the MP3. This should have been pre-recorded by you and available somewhere already. I have mine under downloads, so I will go and grab it there. Okay, so now that we have both audio and video, we can get started in Adobe Premiere. So if you have Premiere on your desktop, on your dock, just go ahead and open it there. If you don't, you might want to do a search. Takes a little bit of time. Once we have it open, we want to do a new project. We will title it what we want, which in this case is a tutorial video. And so VOA60 and insert your language service. We're going to browse the saving location and keep everything together on the same desktop folder called VOA60. Once you have that, press OK, and you now have a new project inside of Premiere. We will not go into the detail of the interface. Simply put, you want to use the bottom left corner to import media. Since that's the default setup, you can also go to File and go to Import. As you can tell, there's also a Command I shortcut to import stuff. The easiest and quickest way in this case really is double clicking within the import box. We will then select our video and audio together and import both files. And so as you can see now, you have a video and audio inside the projects folder. You want to drag the video over to the timeline. Make sure there are no dropped frames, which seems to work perfectly fine. And so now that we have a working video in the timeline, we will now use the keyboard shortcut M, which allows us to put markers on the video. We will use these markers to mark the beginning and end of each news clip. You want to select the video so you can mark the video itself and not the timeline instead. Mark your beginning and go through the video marking the transitions of each news clip. VOA60 usually has 5 stories in it, so if you mark these 5 stories, you should be good to go. Alright, we have now marked all beginning and ends of each story, and we will move on to ingesting the audio. So here you have your audio, and in order for you to visualize the audio waves, you'll want to use the shortcut for stretching the audio layer, Option plus. You can now visualize both audio waves for the video and your audio recording. Because of the visual cues that we have for the audio waves, we will just go ahead and cut 5 individual pieces using the blade tool, which has the shortcut C. We then go back to our pointer using the shortcut V and delete the unnecessary parts. Okay, so now we have 5 pieces, and we then want to remove that first audio layer because we want to insert our audio there. In order to do this and select only the first audio layer, we'll use the Option key. Hold Option key and click. This should select your chosen audio layer. We delete and now use our markers to lay down our audio clips. Okay, once we have our audios laid down, we'll use the plus button to zoom in and see if we have the audio fit the visuals properly. Second story seems to start a little late, so we'll just fix that and space out the stories. Now, if your video or audio is longer, you might want to reduce some of the words. Now that we have laid down our own audio track on the first layer, we will now have to work with the second layer to make sure that the natural sound that comes with the video is not overpowering the audio level. We will go down to our second layer, and instead of using the full audio volume bar, we are going to use Command to create keyframes. We'll use keyframes to mark the audio piece throughout so we can modify the levels at different times. As you can tell, I have chosen negative 5.78 decibels as my reduction. So really what you see here is audio, natural sound that comes back up louder when the talent is not speaking. Okay, so that looks like our full VOA60. The last step is exporting this, and so we can go to File, Export Media, or use the shortcut Command M to directly export from the timeline. That should pop up a window with export settings on it. We want to use H.264, which is an MP4 format, and use medium bitrate. We can click on the name and title it, but also choose the location. And so we will choose the same folder on our desktop to keep it uniform and check that there are no frame-by-frame errors, and we can then export. This was a VOA60 tutorial, and thanks for listening.